We were just kind of moseying along with trying to figure out what kind of services we can bring all of you. And Kyle reached out to us on his own and volunteered to come and give us some real great education about social media and mastering video today. And so we want to welcome him. He's coming from Texas, I believe. And this is the
That's
first
right.
time we're having, this is the first time we're having Kyle address our Hawaii members. And so I just want to give a big aloha and welcome to Kyle. Kyle, take it away.
Thank you, Crystal. This is awesome. I'm so excited. I haven't been there. So my wife and I, 10 years ago, we had our honeymoon in Hawaii, and it is my favorite place on earth. So one of these days I'm going to get back there. But guys, I'm so excited. It is an honor to be with you. The way this all happened, just so you guys kind of know, is I spoke at NAR in San Francisco in November, and everybody really enjoyed it. And so when the coronavirus broke out, I thought, you know what if I just started reaching out to every state and try to see if I could put on something for free to each state, because man, I love getting to serve you guys. And here's what happened. So today is going to be all about mastering video. I can promise you it will be very different than any video course you've ever been a part of, if you've been a part of any. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I like to laugh. I like to have fun. And so for the sake of the environment, everybody, it appears like everybody's muted. I'm going to, just in case, I'm going to mute everybody. And if you have a question while we're going, put it in the chat, and then I'll be paying attention to the chat and we'll address it. And then at the end, we're just going to have a free for all. And if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, please feel free to. This is all about you guys. I want this to make the most of your energy and effort being a part of this. And so let's do this. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get this thing going, if that is all right with you guys. So guys, here's quickly my story. So I spent almost 10 years, my entire 20s as a youth pastor in Dallas, Fort Worth area of Texas. And about 7 years ago, I was called away from the church world and into the business world. And so over the last 7 years, I've started a roofing company with my dad and my brother. I've started a tech company where a business partner and we built websites for real estate agents. And it was through that I began to think, okay, I'm really tired of cold calling realtors and asking you to buy a website. So how could I create value for you? And so I started looking and I thought, man, from what I understand, real estate agents are terrible at social media. And so I literally, I literally stopped and I just prayed and I just said, God, how can I take my talent and their need and put it together? And guys, what happened was I decided I'm going to start teaching social media classes to real estate agents. And it was a way for me to build rapport with you guys. It was a way for me to get in the front door, add value, and then I was able to sell websites. So fast forward about 3 years ago now, I looked up and went, why do I love teaching and hate selling websites? So why do I still sell websites? So I fired myself as president of my own company and I launched out full time into speaking and coaching. And so in the last 2.5 years, I started locally and really did a lot in Texas and Oklahoma. And then in the last really 6 to 10 months, probably, I've began to get national exposure and people really beginning to take notice of what I'm doing, because I am bringing just an element to what I do that's different than anybody else. And I think you'll see it shine through as we get into mastering video. And so guys, here's where I want to start. Where I want to start is with a very simple statement. You are no longer a realtor first. In my opinion, you're not. I know that that's what your name tag says. I know that that's technically how you make money, but you are a marketer. You are a marketer. And so you cannot just lean on, but I'm really good at real estate. I know everything. I'm great with buyers. I'm great with sellers. I'm great at negotiating. I'm great with contracts, right? Guys, none of that matters if people don't know who you are. I had a realtor 2 weeks ago. She is the #2 realtor in the state of Oklahoma. And she, pre-coronavirus, was doing 10 transactions a week. And now she's doing 2 because she was so dependent on old school techniques. And so what we are watching happen is that the playing field is being leveled because technology is now is more important than ever. And so I want you guys to really understand this, that you've got to take it from the mindset of, you know what, I'm a marketer. I know I sell real estate, but I have to market myself. And this is what many of you need to embrace to truly take this on. But I want to also mention this because in my years now of training real estate agents and coaching a lot of them one-on-one, guys, we are walking glass cases of emotion. Right, we are constantly, we're always looking down on ourselves. We're always frustrated. It's never good enough, right? And so this is one of my favorite quotes because it says, "A person cannot rise above the way they see themselves." Guys, I got to be honest with you, and I wish this wasn't true, but when we start doing video, right? When you start having to look at yourself in this camera, guys, it's awkward, right? It's uncomfortable because you see every single blemish that exists on your face, on your body, emotionally, in your mind, right? Subconsciously, it really is crazy how this all works. And so what I want to walk you through, hopefully, is how to embrace yourself a little bit more so that you're more willing to put yourself out there on camera. But before we get there, I want to give you guys just a few stats. All right. 500 million was the number. But last week, Mark Zuckerberg, he told us that right this second, 800 million people are engaging with Facebook Live right now. So it's almost double what the average was 2 months ago. 800 million Facebook users are engaging Facebook Live right this second, which means they're watching it or they're creating Facebook Live content. And so if you think that this is a place where you don't need to be, you're crazy. Because this is exactly where you need to position yourself. But then think about this. Think about just your websites for a moment. How many of you have websites where, if you're being honest, you've got tons of pages with lots of words? And you know deep down inside, nobody's reading those words. Nobody's paying attention to that stuff. So think about this stat. 95%, guys, is the amount of information we can remember when we watch something compared to 10% of what we read. So what if you went onto your website this weekend and you picked a few of those pages to record videos? And so instead of having all those gaudy amounts of words, you instead put a video there. It is more engaging. It's going to be more paid attention to. It helps your SEO because video is so powerful for search engine optimization right now. And it would benefit you in every way. I think it was on a Friday, I went into my little video studio that's on the other side of my office, and I recorded 20 videos. Guys, 20 videos. It was terrible. It was exhausting. But you know what I did? I recorded a 1-minute trailer for each class that I offer. And I went and put it on my website. So now when somebody goes to my website and wants to know what classes I teach, they can watch me explain the class instead of just reading a blurb. So it's a powerful way for me to increase the engagement by leveraging a video. But also, guys, let's talk about this. 90% of customers find video helpful when making shopping decisions. 64% of customers are more likely to buy your product after watching a video about it online. Video is expected to claim 80% of all web traffic by the end of this year. Guys, by the end of this year, Google is predicting that 80% of search results will be video-based. So you've got to ask yourself, when people are searching online, do you want to be in that top 80%, or do you want to be with the bottom feeders begging for the scraps? Right? You've got to embrace this. But let me just give you a few more numbers. We've all heard it said that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, it's now being estimated that 1 minute of video is worth 1.8 million words. Guys, 1 minute of video. It's unbelievably powerful. Look at this other data point. Video can increase purchase intent by 97%. And then here's the one that I really love, because all over the country, I am faced with helping realtors whose first quarter of their year and second quarter now are going unfulfilled. The numbers are going to be low. They're not going to be where they want to be. And so they're going to feel the pressure in the back half of 2020 to really grow their business. And so look at this number. Brands that use video marketing grow their revenue 49% faster than brands that don't. So if we need some increase in our marketing, if we need that 49% increase in growing faster, it's all about video. It's all about video. So with that being said, let's talk about what's going to keep you from getting there. Because guys, this is the issue that we all have. What I believe is this. We all have a comfort zone. I have a comfort zone. You have a comfort zone. Crystal has a comfort zone. And so here's what I've found to be true for me, is that I will look for reasons to validate my desire to stay comfortable. I'll look for reasons. And here's the top 6 reasons that I get from realtors that aren't currently doing video. Number 1, you don't think people will care. You've convinced yourself, nobody cares. Nobody cares about my opinion. I'm just a lowly realtor. Nobody cares what I think. Bull crap. Your friends value your opinion. Now, the world may not value your opinion. The local news may not value your opinion, but your sphere of influence, your people, your friends, your family, your past clients, they value your opinion. So this is a big load of bull when we convince ourselves that people don't care, because they do. But then some of you are a little bit different, and you'll say, Kyle, I'm just afraid to mess up. I'm afraid to mess up. What if I forget what to say? What if this happens? What if that happens? Guys, what I've found is that we live in a world now where people don't want to be sold to by professionals. They want to be sold to by someone who's personable, right? They want to be sold to by somebody that they can trust, by somebody that they can connect with, but by somebody that they see common ground with. And so what I believe is that when we mess up in moments, we're revealing our humanity to people. We're reminding people that we're like them, because we're not perfect, right? Nobody wants to be around someone who thinks they're perfect. We don't like that person. That person just makes us feel bad, right? Because we're just not as good as them. So why is that the persona we try to portray when and if we're doing videos? So we've got to get over that. For some of you, And I don't know who you are, but you might feel too old. And you might feel like, I'm too old for this. You know, I got into this business to sell houses, and now it's about Facebook and Instagram and going live. And I'm too old. No, you're not. My parents, my mom just turned 63. My dad is 62. And they are two of the most brilliant humans I've ever met. And here's what I have to remind them of on a regular basis. And this is slightly morbid, so just forgive me. But I honestly say this to my parents. I say, you know, Dad, it's going to be really sad when you pass away one day and all your stories go with it. When you pass away one day and all the wisdom that you have gathered in your life is going to also be gone. And my kids, your grandkids, they won't have the benefit that I had of growing up with you and hearing your stories firsthand. And so, guys, if as weird as this sounds, I am, as much as I'm using video to grow my business, I'm also using video to be a time capsule for my kids so that one day when I'm gone, they have so many opportunities to still see Dad. Right? They have so many ways to show their kids some of the things that I was doing, some of the places that I was teaching, right? This is the power of video. So do not think you're too old. Some of you may believe that everybody's already doing it, but it's not the case. I work with a lot of realtors, and most of them are too afraid to leverage video the way that they should. Maybe they're doing videos of houses, but they're not doing any videos of themselves. For some of you, you might think, Kyle, I don't have the right equipment. I just don't know what I need. This is it, people, friends. This is all you need. If you have a smartphone, you have all you need to be successful with video. Could you go buy a $12 tripod on Amazon? Of course you can. Could you go get a $20 ring light? Of course you can. But you don't need those things to begin to make a difference in your business with video. And then here's the last one. And this is the most dangerous one, because the last one is that you just don't think video works. And I want to tell you with complete sincerity that I have built my entire business with video. I have won my largest speaking gigs with video. I have taught hundreds of realtors how to leverage video in their business. And I'm getting messages regularly from people going, dude, I sent a birthday video to somebody, right? That just means you recorded a video for somebody and you sent it to them in Messenger, and I got a listing out of it. This is the power of video, and this is what I want you guys to begin to harness in the great state of Hawaii when we're done with this thing. And so we've talked about the issues, and so I want to give you my secret to what I believe is breaking the code and getting more comfortable with video, and it's this right here. That I have learned how to treat video like coffee with a friend. And so here's what I know. Think back to the last time you had coffee with a friend, or for those of you that maybe don't drink caffeine, the last time that you had liquid with a human, okay? If you've ever consumed liquid in the same room with a human, then you can understand what I'm saying right here. Here's what I want you to think about. Did you wear a mask into that meeting? I'm assuming the answer is no. I can't see you guys, but I'm assuming the answer is no. Did you borrow Kanye West's auto-tuner, right? That's what Kanye is known for, is auto-tuning his voice so we can sound cool. Did you borrow it? I'm assuming the answer is no. And then the third and final question is this. 5 minutes into that meeting, did you look at your friend and go, do you have anything else to say to me? Because I'm kind of done. Like, I don't really have, I'm pretty much out of words for you, but this has been so fun. We should do it again. No, right? That's not how coffee with a friend goes. You were probably there for 2 hours because you kept thinking of new things to talk about. Guys, here's what all this means. We all hate what we look like. What I found is that sometimes it's the most beautiful people that carry the biggest insecurities. None of us love what we look like. We don't like what we sound like. We don't like hearing ourselves. We don't like hearing videos where we're in them and it's nails on a chalkboard, right? And then every realtor I know says, Kyle, what do I talk about? If I'm gonna start doing videos, what do I talk about? And I ask them, what the heck do you talk about when you're at coffee with a friend? Everything other than real estate. So guys, this is the magic, in my opinion, of video. When we bite the bullet and realize, guess what? Look in the mirror. That's what you look like. That's what you sound like, right? Your friends already know. Guys, I know you can't tell because I wear it so well, but I am 6'3", 300 pounds. I am a large human. I have never recorded a video where I watched it back and thought, dang, bro, you look good. Your wife is so lucky. Man, your wife married way up. Guys, I've never thought that. Every video I do, I go, oh my gosh, is that what I look like in real life? Yes. Yes, it is. And people love me anyway. So the only person you're fooling by your refusal to do video is you. And so I want to help you get over this issue that you're having. And so how do we get over this issue? I believe there's 5 things that I want to teach you to do well. I want to talk to you about audience. I want to talk to you about content. I want to talk to you about consistency. I want to talk to you about distribution. And then I want to talk to you about storytelling. Because when we do this at a high level, the game changes for us. Our videos begin to click and we start getting more buyers and sellers because of it. And so before we jump into that, I want to challenge you quickly to do something different. Because what I've found is if realtors are doing video, they all look the same. They all try to be the same. They all carry the same sort of vibe and feel. And so I want to challenge you to do it differently. The first thing I want to challenge you with is, guys, give yourself permission to be yourself and stop chasing perfection. Perfection doesn't exist. Have you ever thought about, like, I'm a big sports fan. And so I think about all the time. Can you put up the previous slide? Yes, of course. Oh, guys, and I forgot to tell you, I am going to send my slides to Crystal, and she is going to, there's the previous slide, and she is going to send them out to all of you guys. So you'll have my entire presentation, which is going to be great. So you don't have to feverishly take notes if you have so until then. All right. So where was I? Oh, right here. So guys, you've got to stop chasing perfection. Perfection is going to kill your ability to do video. And here's why. Every time you do a take, you're going to see those little quirks, those little mannerisms that you're known for that you don't like. And so you're going to try to slowly remove all of those things from your videos. And what you're ultimately going to do is every time you do another take, you become less and less of yourself. And so even when I'm doing pre-recorded video, I almost always do one take because I want to be me, right? I want to be myself. I want people to be engaged. And so I don't like to do a lot of takes so that I end up looking like a robot. The second thing, guys, is you have to stop pushing self-serving content. You got to stop pushing self-serving content. So many realtors, here's what you're good at. Here's my new listing. Here's my buyers. here's my closing, here's my other listing, here's my vacation, here's my new car, here's my kid going to private school, here's a listing, right? Everything is about you. Everything's about you. And that is so hard to get people to care when the only person you know how to talk about is you. And so we've got to realize that if we want social media to work for us, especially video, we've got to get away from self-serving content. We've got to start thinking about what are the needs of my ideal client? And then how do we create moments and opportunities to love on them in that capacity, right? This is how all of us got on this call, because I thought, man, coronavirus sucks. This is terrible. Realtors are freaking out. What can I do to add value to them, right? My first thought wasn't, man, what do I need to do to get mine? How can I take advantage of these hurting realtors? And how can I pitch my products? No, guys, my thought was, how can I serve? And that's how we got here today. And so you got to be aware of that in your content. The other thing that you've got to be aware of, guys, is that your opinion matters the least. Let's take Crystal, for example. All right, let's say that Crystal is a realtor. And so she's producing a video that she's going to push out to people. And she goes, oh, I don't like it. Oh, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. I don't know why I said that word like that. Guys, here's what we need to understand. She can't make money off herself. She can't sell herself a house and make money on it. So why is her opinion so important about the video? Because at the end of the day, the only opinion that should matter is the recipient at the other side of the video. So do not let your voice be the loudest when you're deciding if you should post it or not. Because again, I like very few of my videos, but people love them. So I keep doing it. And then here's the final thing. We've all heard of, do y'all have Coca-Cola in Hawaii? I think I've drank a Coke in Maui before, right? So all of you know who Coca-Cola is. But get this, in 2018, Coca-Cola spent, y'all ready for this? $5.8 billion on marketing and advertising. $5.8 billion. And they spent that on a bunch of people that already know who they are. So guys, here's what this means. This means that Coca-Cola gets it. We are constantly being bombarded by company after company that desires our attention. Constantly. So for those of you that live in this world of, but my friends know what I do. When they need me, they're going to reach out to me. No, they're not. No, they're not. Because they have their own life to live. Many of your friends just had new babies. Many of your friends just buried a loved one. Many of your friends just got a new job and are deep in training. Many of your friends, right, just got bad news at the doctor. Many of your friends just got rear-ended. And so life is happening to them. And the last thing they have on their mind is, oh, I need to always remember that so-and-so is a realtor. Guys, we've got to show up on a regular basis if we want their repeat business and if we want all of their friends' business. And this is what it comes down to. All right, so with that being said, if you guys got any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If you don't have questions, then I'm just going to assume that we're good and we can just keep going. All right. And so here we go. Guys, the first part of mastering video is you've got to know your audience. So many of the realtors that I serve, they This is the way they answer this question. If I ask them, hey, tell me who your ideal audience is, their response is simple. Man, if they can afford a house, I'm in. And I'm sure many of you have had that same thought process. That is a terrible thought process if you want to grow a sustainable business, because you can't create content for that person, because we don't know who that person is. So let me walk you through a couple simple questions. The first question that you ask yourself should be, how old are they? How old is my ideal client? Are they in their 30s? Are they in their 40s? Are they in their 50s? Are they in their 60s? Am I helping people buy vacation homes that they spend 2 months a year at? Am I helping people that are first-time home buyers get into the first home they've ever purchased in their life, right? Guys, you have to begin to articulate answers to that question. And here's what it does when you do it the right way. If you say that your ideal client is 30, well, guess what? You now know that you need to spend a lot more time on Instagram than you do on Facebook, because the average 30-year-old is on Instagram way more than they're going to be on Facebook. So you just gave yourself permission of where you need to be. Also, we can begin to assume, right, after we know their age, we now can also begin to think about, like, what season of life are they in? Is this a 30-year-old single? Is this a 30-year-old married without kids? Is this a 30-year-old married with kids? All right. What type of person? Is this a 30-year-old where they both have desk jobs? Or is this a 30-year-old that's an entrepreneur and has their own company? As you begin to paint this picture, you will instantly get more clarity on who you want to serve and what type of videos you should be creating that will attract them. For example, I was working with a coaching client this morning, brand new client. We just started today. And so I was asking her a lot of these questions. And one of the things that we began to develop was her ideal client was 35 to 45, affluent, young family, and they live in like a really rich neighborhood in Dallas, Texas. And so I began to ask her, okay, who did you connect to more in those transactions, the husband or the wife? She said, the wife. I said, great. I said, what would the wife do on a typical Saturday? And she said, I don't know. Probably work out, maybe go like get a juice at a juice bar or go by a coffee shop. Right. And I said, awesome. I said, what if you did a video where you went and spotlighted a brand new yoga studio right near your house? And you could spotlight it. You could interview the owner of the studio. You could even convince the owner to like give your fans and your friends a discount on a session. And so now you're doing a video promoting this new yoga studio to all these people that you've already determined are going to match your description of an ideal client. So guys, that's just one example of what I was talking about. Another example is she said that her ideal seller is between 50 and 60. They have older kids that are moving on into college and maybe still in high school. And so as her and I were talking, she said, you know what? She said, I've actually, of my 3 kids, they've all been in public school and private school. And I said, wow, that's interesting. I said, is there anything in there that would impact the wives of these 50 and 60-year-old families that you're trying to communicate to? And she said, yeah. She said, I feel like there's a lot of moms that aren't really sure what direction they should go, public or private. And so through this dialogue, we came up with the idea where she's going to actually interview one of her kids on Facebook Live and ask them about the differences in public and private school and let them have their own opinion. And guys, it's going to be a brilliant video to attract the exact type of people that she ultimately wants to serve with her real estate business. So those are just a couple examples that literally happened in the last 8 hours for me, because it's a lot later in Texas, right? I started my work at 7 a.m., right? Y'all are all still asleep. It's 2 a.m. in Hawaii. And so those are just conversations that have happened today. So this is why knowing your audience is so valuable. And so I'm not going to go through all those questions, but if you have any questions about the questions, let's talk about it at the end. Guys, the second piece is content. There is a famous entrepreneur named Gary Vaynerchuk who says the quote that's on this page: content is the price of entry to relevance. Guys, here's what this means. If any of you are struggling right now, and I'm sure none of you are, I'm sure, you know, in Hawaii, every realtor is a millionaire. All of you are wildly successful. We're not even really sure why you're on this call, right? All is good. But I know that's not true. All right. And so for those of you that are struggling, or maybe you're not struggling, but you just know you're capable of more, the reason your business isn't where you want it to be is most likely a relevance issue. And what that means is you aren't showing up when people's needs are arriving. You've got to show up. You've got to be present. And so this is what social media does, right? Don, I totally agree. I usually tell people when I promote a Gary V video, don't watch this around your kids, because he is very much in love with the F word. So yeah, you are totally right. But guys, this is the issue that most of you are facing is you're not relevant. How many of you, and I know I can't see you, so I'm really just kind of speaking into the wind, but how many of you have ever been to a family gathering where you've heard your cousin talk about the house they just bought? And you go, what? What do you mean the house you just bought? Why am I just now hearing about it? Guys, if that's ever happened to you, if you've seen a competitor's sign go up in your neighbor's yard, you have a relevance problem. And so this is what I'm solving with this course, is helping you become more relevant. So how do we do it? We've got to start talking about stuff on a regular basis, right? Content is king. But realtors are everywhere. So how are you going to be different? I'm not going to baby step you through all of these, because some of these are very self-explanatory. But guys, you've got to remove real estate from your frontal lobe part of the time so that you can truly start talking about things that people care about. Because if I'm being honest, I don't know how it is in Hawaii, but in Dallas-Fort Worth, so many realtors love to give their like monthly market report on video. And I have to politely lean in and go, why do you do that? You realize that no one cares, right? You realize that no one woke up today and went, what is this? Is this the first Thursday in May? Is this the second Thursday in May? What? Today's market report day. Yes. No, guys, nobody's ever said that, because most people don't care about real estate until they need it. That's why we've got to create other venues, other ways of bringing value, because we cannot keep someone on the hook for that long with only real estate content. So where I would suggest that you start is leverage friends and family. Mother's Day is coming up. What if you did a Facebook Live interview with your mom, and you thought of some fun questions to ask, and y'all just got on camera together, and it would be so much fun, and you guys would love it, and people would enjoy watching it, and that could be the thing that brings you your next listing. What if, for those of you that are funny, what if you just did some videos that were just fun? Guys, 70% of YouTube videos are watched for sheer entertainment. That's it. They're not watched to learn. They're not watched to be a better person. They're not watched to get a college education. They just want to laugh. And so for some of you, you have a great sense of humor, but you've silenced that part of you because it's so-called unprofessional. It would work if you just allowed it. You can talk about your passions. All right, Crystal and I had a brief conversation about this through email, but I was a former pastor, right? So I love Jesus. Jesus is a huge part of my life. So I do a lot of videos that are about spiritual things. And guys, can I tell you, I have gotten so many coaching clients. I have been awarded speaking gigs because the certain person went and watched some of my videos. They saw how strong in my faith that I am, and that is what sold them on them wanting me to go speak in front of their audience. Guys, people know what you do. We've got to give them more. We cannot just beat the dead horse, which is real estate after real estate after real estate post. We've got to do more. Go behind the scenes. If you just want a new listing and you're considering staging it, what if you did a video pre-staged and then a video post-staged? And you gave people insight to the behind the scenes. What if you had your photographer in the house taking pictures? So you went live and did a very casual tour of the property while your photographer's in there. And you might even stop and grab the photographer and say, hey, while we've got everybody, what are you looking for in a kitchen before you take that photo? And just let it feel very authentic, right? That's behind the scenes, guys. People love that stuff. Property tours should be the easiest thing you ever do. You should never be in a house that you don't do some sort of video from. That's free, easy marketing and advertising every single time. And then guys, I put real estate stuff on here, and here's what I mean by that. For some of you, you have to stop selling on social media and start educating. You need to show people how brilliant you are and how much you care. So you need to start doing things like, guys, I want to just quickly give you 3 ways to increase your curb appeal without spending a lot of money. Guys, I want to give you 3 different looks of how you could reorganize your living room without overdoing it on the budget, right? And just become an educator. I want to educate you about this part of town. I want to educate you on this style of home, as opposed to, do you want to buy this home? That is the difference in what many of you need to be shifting to. And so you can see, guys, all of this stuff, right? It really is not rocket science once you begin to get out of your own way. And the thing that I want to touch on last before I leave is interviews. Here's the power of interviews. And most people don't even think about this. If I interview Crystal, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to bring her on my Facebook page or my Instagram. We're going to do an interview. She's going to do a great job. And my people are going to go, man, good job, Crystal. We really appreciate all the value that you brought to the table. But guys, an interview is so much more than that for you who's hosting the interview, because here's what happens when you interview someone. Crystal's probably going to share that video because she's proud of herself, right? And she's going to go, look at me. I got on this social media experts podcast. And so she's going to share it. Then maybe her mom's going to share it, or one of her kids might share it, or her spouse might share it, or 2 of her girlfriends might share it, or a couple coworkers might share it. And guys, now all of a sudden, that interview has been shared 5 to 6 times inside of Crystal's sphere. And all those people have 2 things in common. Do not miss this. They're watching this video, and all of them love Crystal, and they don't have a clue who I am. And so now people begin to research, who's this Kyle guy? He's funny. Who's this Kyle guy? I like his really loud shirt. Who's this Kyle guy? I like the quotes that he has on his wall. And guys, before you know it, I have people in my inbox going, hey, I saw you on a video with Crystal, and I was just curious as to what type of coaching do you do? That is the beauty of interviews, guys, is every time you interview someone, you are expanding your sphere while leveraging their influence. That's the power of interviews. This whole presentation could be worth it for you if the only thing you did differently than you've done your whole life is start interviewing people. It'll change your business forever. All right? Any questions? I know, because content is a big thing. I'm even going to stop sharing for a minute and just, do we have any questions in regard to content specifically?
Hey,
If we do,
Kyle,
let's talk. Yeah.
can we ask the participants if they have a question, they can go ahead and raise their hand. If you go to that manage participant
Sure.
icon and raise your hand, then Kyle, it'll be easier for you to call on them, and it'll be a little bit more orderly to ask questions.
The only thing is, so because we've got 3 pages of people on, so I may not see it necessarily,
Well,
but we can definitely
I have
try.
the participant window open, so if they do,
Oh, cool.
I'm asking them to click on raise hand. There's a button on the bottom of the participant icon. If you click on that, on the very bottom, there's a raise hand button. If you click on that, your hand will be raised on the list of participants, and we can see who has a question.
Perfect. All right. Any questions in regard to content?
Hello, can you hear me?
All right, Sandy.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't raise my hand. I'm on my phone in the car while I'm driving. I'm so sorry. But I
That's
have
all right.
Okay, if we do something on our Facebook and we're doing something that's a topic other than real estate, at some point, do we mention real estate at the ending or something to let people know we are a realtor?
So Sandy, that's a great question. And I totally understand why you're asking that. So my answer is no. So, and here's what I mean by that. If I do a video and it has nothing to do with real estate, but at the end of it, I go, hey guys, remember, if you need anybody to buy, sell, or invest in properties for you, I'm your guy. I just ruined all the value that I just gave them, because I showed you that this really wasn't about you. This was about me getting more business. And I tried to pull the wool over your eyes with the topic. Does that make sense?
That does. Yes, thank you.
So what we have to do well, Sandy, is, right, your page is going to say that you're a realtor. You could even do what I call passive branding. So for example, like, let's say that this water bottle, right, said like, you know, Joe Blow Real Estate Company. And so I can have the water bottle that I'm drinking out of during the video, and it's going to remind people that I'm in real estate. I could have a hat on with my logo, so that's passively branding my business. I could have a t-shirt on, right? Or Sandy, the best way to do this would be what I've already done to you guys on this call. Maybe some of you have caught it, maybe some of you haven't, but I'm going to reveal my secrets to you. Several times already on this call, I've told you guys stories about my coaching clients. So that's reminding you that I do what? That I'm a coach, right? And so it would be super weird if I was like, what? Look at that slide. Does that have my pricing on there? That's crazy. I forgot that was even in there. That would be super sleazy. But when we do it very passively, we're reminding people what we do for a living without ticking anyone off.
Okay.
And that's the greatest way to do it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That was great. Great question, Sandy. All right. Let's keep going. Is that cool, Crystal?
Absolutely, that'll be fine. And I'm watching the chat box too. So if anybody has a question they'd like to write in the chat box, you can go ahead
Yeah.
and do it now.
All right, cool. Am I doing good so far?
You're doing absolutely fantastic.
Okay, great. You know, this is really hard when you're used to being in front of a room of people that you can gauge their mannerisms and their, you know, you can watch them laugh when you try to be funny. Man, Zoom is tough when people don't have their cameras on. I don't even know if y'all are there. I just have to hope that you are. So we're going to keep right on trucking. And so we're going to go right here, guys. The third part to the 5-step process is we have to do it consistently. I'm sure that there are many of you on this call that are very physically fit, right? You work out all the time. You watch what you eat. Okay. I am in the process right now of trying to lose weight. I have lost almost 14 pounds since the shelter at home started, which I'm pretty proud of. But here's what I know. If you're really fit and I run into you in the park and I go, you know what? I just got to say something. I'm really ticked. And you're going to go, why? What are you ticked off about? And I go, well, I've been working out for 2 whole days now and I haven't lost 50 pounds. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like maybe this whole diet and exercise thing just doesn't work for me. You're going to laugh and go, bro, it doesn't work like that. You got to stay committed, man. You got to be committed to this for the long haul. This is a change in your lifestyle, not a 2-day temporary hiatus of you eating cheeseburgers and pizza. And so, guys, we would say the same thing about marriage. If somebody came up to you and said, man, my marriage is really struggling and my wife and I went on 1 date and everything's not better. You would go, man, keep going, keep loving your spouse, keep doing the right things. It's going to get better. Guys, you will not become a millionaire on day 1 of doing video. So you have got to commit this to consistency. So how do we do this? In my opinion, you guys need to be doing video weekly. Now, with that being said, some of you have never done a video. So I don't expect you the same way that someone on here that is physically fit wouldn't expect me to run a marathon tomorrow. I don't expect you to have this figured out tomorrow. For some of you, you don't even need to worry about a weekly video. You just need to worry about your first. You just need to worry about 1 video. And then let's take the next one as it comes. But for some of you that have dabbled in video, you need to be doing video every single week because we've got to be in front of our people. You can do this from your personal page on Facebook, from your business page, from Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube, but you've got to be present weekly with some form of video content. You have to be. It doesn't work if we're not consistently there. The second thing that I want you guys to be doing consistently is interacting with the comments. What I watch a lot of realtors do is you get so excited because you actually did a video that you forget that people actually commented on the video. And so we've got to make sure that we're doing a good job of rewarding good behavior. Because what will happen if you're not careful is you'll have friends that comment on your posts, you don't respond to them, and so they in their mind go, "Oh, I guess Sandy doesn't care. So I'm not gonna comment on her post anymore." So let's make sure we're replying to people so that they're understanding. Thank you for commenting on my post. I really appreciate it. That way they keep doing it. We also need to understand the difference in our business pages and our personal pages. Okay? This is huge, guys. In general, in my opinion, you should be committing about 80% of your effort to your personal page and 20% of your effort to your business page. Because your personal page is where your sphere is. Your personal page is where the trust is built. The personal page is where referrals are going to come from. The business page is where people are coming that you don't know yet. So even though your friend likes your business page, they're most likely not going to pay attention to it because they're already friends with you on Facebook. So too many realtors, you do all of your content for real estate from your business page and it's crickets, right? Nobody sees it because Facebook doesn't want you to succeed there unless you're paying them money. So we've got to begin to put real estate content on our personal pages in the right way, authentically, educationally, and that is how you're going to position yourself to win. If y'all want to talk more about that at the end, bring it up and we can even dive further into what that looks like and the do's and don'ts of that. But we've got to leverage both pages. You also, in my opinion, need to be sending private video messages every day. Every day. My most popular video message that I love to send is I love to send birthday videos to people. All right. Crystal said, what's relevant regarding what current relevant content? Okay. Let's talk about that at the end. Is it okay to use the same video on different platforms? Yes, but I'll unpack that more as well at the end. And those are both great questions. So thank you guys for asking those, and we'll talk about those. Guys, here's what I want you to do. Start sending birthday videos to people on their birthday. This is what I've done for several years now, and it has won me quite a bit of business because people love it, and it reminds them that I exist. And so I actually go on camera, and I sing happy birthday to people. And I'll even show you one that I sent this morning, just in case you guys don't believe me. Let's see. Let me turn this volume up. Can y'all? Yeah, there's me. Okay, y'all ready for this? This is terrible. I'm not a good singer, but this is what I do.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tamara. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Hope you have an awesome one. Bye.
So that's it. That's what I send to people every day on their birthday. And guys, people love it because no one else is doing it. Everyone else just writes on their wall. So I am intimately sending them that video through private messenger so that they know you're my boy, right? You're my girl. You're my friend. You're not a write on the wall kind of person. You're you get a birthday song from me person. And it means a lot to people. And so I would highly encourage you to start doing this. And if you need that unpacked, we can unpack that at the end as well. All right. And then guys, the last piece about consistency is if you're going to start doing video of any sort, you might as well create a YouTube channel and or an Instagram TV channel and use either one of those platforms as a way to start housing your videos in another permanent place, right? Shell Lee, she asked about, can we put the same video on multiple platforms? Of course you can. Of course. I do plenty of Facebook Lives that I then download and I upload to YouTube. Or I do a Facebook Live and I download it and I put it on Instagram TV. Or I do a Facebook Live and I download it and put it on LinkedIn. You're absolutely allowed to repurpose content like that. So if you're going to be creating it, let's start putting it in multiple places to give more people the opportunity to see it. All right. So those are the main things that we need to be doing consistently. But then here's the next part is the distribution piece. Because Grant Cardone, who is a famous real estate mogul, he says best known beats best. I don't know how Hawaii is being played out right now, but I know in Dallas, Fort Worth, some of the best companies are falling by the wayside because they're no longer known. They're still really good at what they do. They're great law firms. They're great car dealerships. They're great, but nobody remembers that they exist. Therefore, they're experiencing extinction. You guys have got to be known. And in order to be known, we have to understand how content compounding works. So this is a formula that I created. And let me tell you this first. If you want it, I will send it to you guys, but you've got to tell me through email, text, or a Facebook message, and I'll give you guys my cell phone at the end so that you can holler at me if you need me. But guys, what I'm about to show you, if you look at blog over, from blog to social graphics, the way this is designed is that all of that can be done by an assistant if you commit to just doing the video. So what I have that I will give you completely for free is I did an hour-long training where I walked a real estate agent's assistant through content compounding so she could start offering that service for her. And I will send you that recording if you want to watch it and or show it to your teenage son that you want to help you with this, or your college daughter, right? That's how easy this is. But let me quickly walk you through it. So it starts with a 5-minute video. Let's say you do a 5-minute live video that lives on Facebook, okay? Now, what you're going to do is after you do the video, you can download the video and then upload it. I'm going to put some stuff in the chat. Let me pull the chat back up. So from live video, you're going to send the video to a website called rev.com. Rev.com is a transcription website. So they charge $1.25 a minute. So this video would cost you $6.25. And they're going to send you a Word document with every word you said in the video. Guys, guess what you just had? You just gave yourself a blog post. See, you don't even have to be a writer to write a blog. You just have to be a talker and then use a transcription service. So now you have a blog. Then you're going to upload that video to YouTube, but you're going to also go to a website called canva.com, and you're going to create what's called a YouTube thumbnail. So you're going to go to Canva, and then you're going to search YouTube thumbnail, and it's going to give you hundreds of templates of really cool YouTube thumbnails. You're going to put in your words, you're going to upload your photos, you're going to add your logo, and then now you can upload that YouTube thumbnail to your YouTube channel so it makes your video look really professional. Now, you can also upload that YouTube thumbnail with your blog to your website. And so now you've got a really good looking blog post with a really nice graphic all over your website. Then guys, for people that want to go the expert route, you can extract the audio file from any video and you can basically turn that into a podcast if you wanted to. And so if you're going to start interviewing people on a regular basis, you could turn all those videos into podcasts, which is how most podcasters now record each of their episodes. And so that's another possible way. And then guys, the last thing that you have the ability to do is you can create social graphics from your original video. You can find a quote that you said in the video, and then you can go back into Canva and make a really cool quote graphic, which I do all the time. You can upload your video to a website, or sorry, it's not a website, it's an app called InShot. And you can upload your 5-minute video to InShot, and then you can edit it down to 30 seconds or 45 seconds or a minute. And then now you've got a much shorter clip that you can use instead of just the long video. All right, so this is the very quick overview of how content compounding works. And this is how we mass produce you. This is how we take you from being, I'm barely on Facebook, to I'm all over everything. And it's no extra effort on your part if you understand and begin to leverage content compounding, especially if you can afford $10 an hour to a young person to help you do this. And they would happily do it. So any question before we move on in regard to content compounding? And we can address it afterwards as well, if you think of a question later. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So the fifth piece to this is storytelling. And I want to show you, right? This is what I believe to be the biggest reason why most realtors struggle on social media, is because we get really good at saying things, but we don't get good at telling stories. And telling stories is how we draw in the crowd. Telling stories is how we evoke emotion. Telling stories is how we get people to care and pay attention. And so this is really, really important in order for us to have success. So very quickly, I want to give you the 5 questions that I've asked myself for several years when I'm posting content. The first question is, who is this for? Who am I doing this for? Right? Somebody asked, and we'll address this in a little bit, right? But ask what's relevant content? Well, in order for us to identify relevant content, we first have to ask ourselves, who are we doing it for? Are we doing it for millennials? Are we doing it for boomers? Are we doing it for young families? Are we doing it for investors? Because the end person is who dictates what the content should be. So we have to identify that. If I do a post, like I love all things sports. And so I love the Dallas Cowboys. If I post about the Dallas Cowboys, I know that only sports fans are going to care about that post. And I'm totally cool with that. If I post about, a local story in Dallas, Fort Worth, I know that my realtor friends in Hawaii that I've met today aren't going to really care because you don't live in Dallas, Fort Worth. And I'm okay with that, right? So we have to identify our audience early on. The second thing, guys, we've got to ask ourselves is, what need does this solve? What am I accomplishing by doing this post? Am I causing people to laugh? Am I causing people to think? Am I being critical of something? But we've got to make sure that we're solving a need and not just flapping our gums, because that's not attractive. And that rolls into the third question, which is, what emotion do I want them to feel? We've got to be drawing emotion out of people. And we do this through storytelling. I can make people be sad. I can make people get excited. I can make people be happy. I can cause people to feel grief. I can get people to laugh, right? I can get people to experience whatever emotion I want, but I try to think through it in advance, and it pays huge dividends when we do that. The fourth question is, what is your call to action? Now, call to action is kind of unique because we've all learned call to action in our sales training. So like Sandy asked earlier, right? Well, should I say something about real estate at the end of the video? Right? That's because we feel like we've got to be salesy because that's the position we're in. We're in a sales position. But the reality is, a call to action can be anything, guys, because like right now in this call, I could say, hey, if you guys have learned something so far, comment the number 1 in the comments. If you've learned anything up to this point, put a 1 in the comments. Right? And so now as ones begin to come in, right? That was me giving you guys a call to action. And this is great. 2 whole people have learned something. So okay, cool. Here comes some more ones. All right. They were just delayed. I was feeling really insecure for a moment. So guys, that's a call to action. Okay, so y'all can stop putting ones because I just wanted to show you guys that. And I am very appreciative that you guys have gotten something from it. But guys, it could also be as simple as, let's say that I am, so I'm reading this book right now. It's a really cool book. It's called 1,000 Little Things Happy, Successful People Do Differently. And so I saw this on the bookshelf at Barnes & Noble a while back, and I thought, you know what? I'm a happy person. I'm a successful person. I want to see how I relate to this book. And so, guys, I could pull something from this book. I could do a video about it. And then at the end of that video, I could say something like, hey, guys, what's your favorite book? Because I'm going to be looking for another book after this one. And so I'd love some options for my next book. That's a call to action. That is me calling you to take action. So you want to try to have some sort of call to action in your videos when it makes sense, but it doesn't have to be sales driven. We're just trying to create engagements and get people to comment. All right. And then guys, the last question that I ask myself is, what platform am I going to do it on? So it's a two-part question. What platform am I going to do it on? And then in what form is going to be best? So is this going to be a Facebook Live video? Is this going to be a long post that I'm going to use on Instagram with a picture? Am I going to do this in Instagram stories? Am I going to record this directly for my YouTube channel? And so this is the framework that I use to begin to create a story and dialogue inside of my posts on social media. All right. So then the last piece of storytelling, and then I'm going to give you some key takeaways, and then we'll do Q&A, is guys, you have to be aware of the positioning that you take with people. Positioning is this. I can take 3 positions with you. I can ask myself, okay, I'm about to do this call with all the Hawaii realtors. Do I want to be like them, right? Do I want them to feel like we're similar? That is a position that we can take with people. This is where we're finding common ground. This is where I say that I love Jesus, and you go, me too, right? Boom. We just established common ground. Our relationship instantly went up trust-wise. Right? That's being like people. The second way is we can ask, do I want to lead them? So on this call, to some degree, you guys are trusting me to lead you as a so-called expert of video. So we can take this position with our friends of, hey guys, I got this figured out. Come on over here with me and let me show you how this works. That's a powerful way to position yourself with the right people. But then there's a third way that we can position ourselves, and it's the most dangerous way, is that we can challenge people. And I have a friend who, God bless him, is a great person, and he's really smart, but he puts his foot in his mouth on social media constantly. He is constantly saying things that I go, bro, what are you doing? Why are you saying that? There's no reason to say that. Why are you putting that opinion out there? Keep it to yourself. But he just loves to challenge people. And because he hasn't earned the right, he rubs all of them the wrong way. And this is what I watch realtors do on social media. This is what we're watching happen because of the coronavirus, right? We're watching people put stuff on Facebook that's like, like I got called a communist the other day, right? Like, it's just crazy. People will say outlandish things if you have a single opinion, right? And so we've got to be careful with the positioning that we take with people. Most of the time, you should want people to think that you're like them. That's the greatest thing we can do with people. And here's a simple trick. And I'm going to put this in the chat so that y'all can remember this. All right. Instead of using you, I can't type and talk at the same time. Instead of using you on social media, use we. Guys, if you want people to be for you on social media, every time you want to use the word you, switch it to we. Because you creates the feeling in someone that you're calling them out. We is creating community and saying that we're all in this together. So that's a super simple tip to just instantly elevate your social media. All right. And then guys, here's the last thing. You've got to give people context. And here's what I mean by this. I'm going to write on this paper. So this is a timeline, right? This is day 0. You get the listing, you get the buyer, and then this is closing. Okay? Here's what happens. You put up a closing photo. And while you're typing up your photo, you're typing the description, you are embracing all of the emotion that you felt in the entire process. Every single moment of that process, you are recalling while you're typing that post. But guys, here's where we miss it. All I see as the third-party innocent bystander that's on your Facebook page is this. All I see is closing, because I wasn't in your car for all of this, right? I wasn't on the phone when all of that took place. I wasn't a part of each little step of the transaction. So while you're feeling all the emotion, all I see is, dang, that's a good closing. I wonder how much money you made on that. Dang, is that the 4th one this month? You are loaded. Man, it must be nice to just get to show houses to people and be rich, right? And I can create all of these false truths because you're not giving me context. So what does this look like on a closing photo? What happened leading up to that closing? Give me a little bit of the story. Why are you so glad that Mr. and Mrs. Smith chose you to sell their house? Right? Give me some of those details. What did you overcome or sacrifice? Where did the deal almost go sideways? What happened when one of the offers fell through? Right? Let us understand why all of that happened so that now we can celebrate you and go, dude, you're right, bro. That's awesome. Way to go on that closing. Man, you crushed it for the Smiths. So we've got to give people some of this backstory. And then the final question, guys, is how did they win? How did your client win? As your client is driving away from the closing table, why are they excited that they used you? Or are they like, whew, glad that's over. That guy was a joke, right? How did you help them win? These are the details that naturally go unsaid that keep your audience from being able to connect with you in a more intimate way. So positioning and context is huge. So guys, very quickly before I wrap up, I want to invite you to join my free group. Okay, I have a group on Facebook where I train several times a week. It's only for realtors, and it mainly has mainland realtors in it. I don't think any Hawaii realtors are even in there yet. So y'all are going to sweeten the pot and bring some really fun people into the group. But if you've enjoyed this training and you want to just be around me more, please go search Top of Mind Selling on Facebook and you will find my group. Please go get in it. All right. And before we finish, I want to give you takeaway. So in my opinion, what should you be doing now? I am on IG. So guys, y'all can find me on any social media platform if you search Coach Kyle Draper. Oh, whoops. I should have put that public. But y'all heard me say it. Go search Coach Kyle Draper on any social media platforms and you're going to find me. But guys, here's very quickly, some takeaway that I would have. One, take a step forward because of this call. Do a birthday video, do your first live video, launch your YouTube channel, but take a step forward. I think it's become so easy in this coronavirus environment to just consume a bunch of trainings. But if you're being honest, you're not actually implementing any of them. And who gives a crap if we're getting smarter, if we're not actually applying them to growing our business? So take a step forward. The second thing I would encourage you with is do it afraid. Do it afraid. I don't know if y'all can read this, but I've got a quote on my wall back there that says, "You were born enough." Right? You were born enough. So get out there and do it afraid. If you're waiting to feel more comfortable, you're going to be waiting forever because it's not comfortable. It's uncomfortable. So just do it afraid. The third thing that I would say is get in the habit of just recording videos. I would encourage all of you to record a video today, right? But don't go Niners. Come on, man. The Niners. We can't talk about the Niners right now. I'm a Cowboys fan, and y'all are better than us, so that's not fair. But guys, get in the habit of just recording video. Even if you're not going to post it, right? Completely throw out the notion of posting it because that's where your fear is. Just get in the habit of recording video, and you're going to get better at it. You're going to feel more comfortable, and before you know it, you're going to be posting it on social media. All right. And then here's my final tip of what you should do right now. Talk about your insecurity. And I'm going to end it with this story. So about 1.5 years ago, I got invited to preach at a church in Dallas, Fort Worth. And I don't preach very much anymore because I just don't have time. And so there was about, I don't know, there's 500 or 600 people in the room. And I was sitting on the front row. Praise and worship was happening. And just this overwhelming sense of nausea filled my body. Like I was just so nervous that I just wanted to throw up. And my first thought was, I hope they can't tell how nervous I am. And so let me tell you what I did. I got on stage, and the first words out of my mouth were, guys, I got to tell y'all, I am so nervous. I think I might throw up. And guys, the room erupted in laughter. And I even made a joke. I said, so I apologize in advance for the two, for the 2 rows in the front. Y'all are kind of in the splash zone. So if any of it gets on you, I apologize. I'll pay for your dry cleaning. And guys, because I called out my insecurity, it gave me the power back. Because as long as we keep our insecurities hidden, the insecurity has the power. The insecurity is in the driver's seat. The insecurity controls what we do and don't do. But the moment you call it out, you took all the power back. If I'm insecure about being the big guy, then I crack a joke about being the big guy. And the moment I do, it takes the power back. So whatever you're concerned with, the other day I had a pimple right on the center of my nose. And I talked about it in my video. I called out the insecurity and I took the power back for myself. If you will practice that, if you are a perfectionist, and if you'll tell people at the beginning of your video, guys, I got to tell you, I'm really nervous because I'm so much of a perfectionist. It's not even funny. And I'm so fearful about messing up. But you know what? Here we go. I'm going to do it anyway. Your friends will celebrate the crap out of you. They'll be so excited that they'll be so willing to honor you because you were vulnerable and transparent. So those are my 4 things that you should do now. And guys, I want to put this up here. If you need my personal info, my website, my email address, my cell phone number, this is not a Google Voice number. This is not a number this is my number. If any of you called it right now, it would ring this phone. And so if I can serve you in any way, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, because my absolute calling in life is loving on you guys. And so please allow me to do it if you feel like I would be a benefit to you. And guys, with that being said, I'm done. And I would love to just answer questions. If you guys have questions, let's talk about them. If you don't have questions, then we're going to end this thing. But I do want to scroll back up and talk about a couple of the questions. So Crystal asked, what do you feel at the current moment is relevant regarding general content? So Crystal, I would say this: there's no such thing as general content. There is only such thing as your content, right? That's it. There's only such thing as your content. And so what is relevant content? Relevant content is, what would your ideal audience want to hear about? Or what are you passionate about? So here's what my videos are about. I talk about social media. I talk about marketing. I talk about videos. I talk about Jesus. I talk about marriage. I talk about children because I've got 2 kids. I talk about leadership because I'm passionate about leadership. I talk about sports because I'm passionate about sports. And I talk about business because I'm passionate about business. So those are all the different things that I talk about. I have friends that talk about fashion. I have friends that talk about cooking. I have friends that talk about real estate investing. I have friends that talk about fitness, right? Because that's what they're passionate about. And so that's what I believe that you guys need to be focused on is as far as content goes. And so Joe, you'll get my slides, and so you'll have my phone number in the slides, and we'll make sure that you get it, whether from me or from Crystal. So that's what I would consider relevant content. And if you need more clarity on it, holler at me, and I'll be happy to talk you through it. What else, guys? Any other questions? All right, cool. So here's what we're going to do. We're done. I'm going to end this thing in just a minute. Crystal, I don't know if you want to add anything before you let everybody go. I will get this recording to Crystal as soon as Zoom sends it to me, and then she will send it to you guys as well as the slides. And man, I hope and pray that you guys will take to heart what we've talked about, and that this will be a huge catalyst in the growth of your business for the rest of this year and beyond.
Well, thank you, Kyle. I just really appreciate that. You know, I haven't known Kyle very long, but I do know this, that he's very sincere about helping the realtors abroad. And so with that, I'm very thankful for
Thank
you,
you,
Kyle, for taking the time that you did for us today. And if everyone can put it on their to-do list today to do one video,
Come
then
on.
that would be so awesome, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to let you know that Kyle's going to send me the stuff. We're going to post it on our website, hawaiirealtors.com. And we will send out a email message to everyone in the state, letting them know that the video is available as well as his slides. So, hey, we just really love the fact that you're rocking that Aloha shirt. And we know that you need to be here one day. So we just
I would love a reason to be in Hawaii.
Yes,
Y'all
definitely.
give me one, and I am there.
Yes, definitely. Well, a big mahalo to you. We're going to sign off, and thank you
All right.
everybody who came. Mahalo.
Bye, guys. Y'all have a great day.